Undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, sporting a black eye courtesy of Travis Scott, breaks his silence last night on John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber on Smackdown. More details and context regarding the backstage rumours of heat on Jade Cargill and a confrontation with Shayna Baszler. Speaking of Cargill, Naomi reveals she indeed did attack Bianca Belair's tag team partner last year. Randy Orton responds to John Cena's heel turn on SmackDown last night. LA Knight once again is the United States Champion, defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre attack each other on SmackDown. Braun Strowman chokeslams Jacob Fatu through 2 tables. Chelsea Green retains the Women's United States Championship thanks to some outside interference. Pretty Deadly are the new number 1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks reportedly were backstage a recent episode of AEW Dynamite. Just when Rey Fenix is expected to start with WWE has now been confirmed, plus Triple H confirms when WWE will return to Australia. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the American Nightmare, the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, who has broken his silence regarding John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes appeared on last night's March 7th episode of SmackDown to address John Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott after Elimination Chamber. Rhodes was somber making his entrance without the usual posing and woeing, as he sported a very clearly injured eye which had been caused by a blow from Scott. Before Rhodes began, there were loud Cena sucks chants from the crowd in Philadelphia. He said that he couldn't bring himself to explain to his daughter what actually happened, so he told her a Cody lie and said he ran into a wall, which he then said what happened in a metaphorical sense. Rhodes went on to reveal what John Cena told him in the ring at WrestleMania 40 last year after Rhodes' championship victory, saying Cena told Rhodes it gets heavier every day. He then said, even though Cena might have thought his successor had to look and be the same as him, that's not the case, as Rhodes has proven. He finished the promo by calling back to one of Cena's own catchphrases, John Cena, you clearly want some, come and get some. Now, Rhodes' comments were as follows. Now, he said, quote, you can watch WrestleMania 40 back. You can turn the audio up. My old friend John Cena celebrating in the ring with my friends and family. He looked at me. He pointed at the title. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, it gets heavier every day. Well, John, here I am holding this championship. It is not heavy enough. Here I am holding this championship as I have for the last 300 and something days. John, I know that you're watching. I know that you think your successor had to look like you and talk like you and had to be like you, had to live like you. Well, the next one doesn't look like the last one, John, and you are convinced that you are the last of your kind. You are not. I am standing right here. I am holding this above my head as if it weighs nothing. And at WrestleMania 41, I will do the same. John Cena, clearly, you want some, come and get some. Now, as far as this Cody Rhodes storyline involving John Cena and The Rock, of course, it was reported yesterday that originally Dwayne The Rock Johnson wanted Cody Rhodes to turn heel, but the American Nightmare turned down that storyline instead, saying that he wasn't going to do it. So that meant that John Cena was the second choice to turn heel. Now, a bit of an update of this has come courtesy of Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. Dave Meltzer of The Wrestling Observer reported that at one point Cody Rhodes was pitched for a heel turn to align with The Rock against John Cena heading into WrestleMania. There were a number of other elements regarding a timeline, when the turn was expected and the like, that Fightful say they can't confirm. However, Fightful Select had heard earlier this week that Cody was indeed pitched and passed on a heel turn. Now, they're stressing here, to be clear, the only element of the report that Fightful say they can confirm is the pitched and rejected heel turn from Cody. After that, Fightful have been told that Cena was pitched to and agreed to turn heel, and The Rock was, quote, all in on making the story happen. Now, obviously, this led to a lot of dramatic reactions online yesterday, but Fightful have been told this was just the common course of making pitches for something big to happen heading into WrestleMania and maximizing the buzz. When gauging reactions this week, there were many close to Cody who hadn't even heard about this. Now, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes reportedly had been planned for WrestleMania as far back as November, but the timeline as to when this pitch for the heel turn, etc., took place, we still don't know as of right now. Now, a bit more of an update when it comes to Jade Cargill. There was a big story yesterday regarding Jade Cargill experiencing some heat within WWE. Now, Wrestling Observer reported a situation that took place with Shayna Baszler and Jade Cargill last year that led to Cargill getting heat. Now, Fightful had asked WWE Talent about the incident shortly after Cargill was written off television, but those in the locker room had been quiet. Since then, it was claimed that Cargill took issue with something that had unfolded, and the word around the locker room was that Cargill had said something to the effect that Baszler needed to learn how to work, which was denied by people close to Jade. Fightful are told it stemmed from a match in Scotland where Cargill tapped out in what wasn't supposed to be the finish of the match. Now, people once again close to Jade, adding new context to this story, claimed she was more disappointed with herself with how things went down and was apologetic backstage. Now, upon returning to WWE, the situation that got much of the locker room talking was Cargill's promo video that said she was, quote, demanding respect, end quote, and being surrounded by wolves in the shape of women all around her. At least one talent in the locker room mentioned that this was taken personally by a number of talent as they kept the issue between she and Baszler quiet. Cargill's absence was also the subject of heat in the locker room, according to SAP. Talent had heard that Cargill had asked for the holiday tour off, but was told that the tour was mandatory. Following that, she sustained an injury that several members of the roster doubted the validity of, which is why the initial reports had emerged elsewhere that she wasn't injured. However, WWE higher-up spoke to Fightful and said she was injured and was actually willing to come back much earlier than she actually did. However, WWE wanted to make sure she was cleared by their team and she was able to get in additional reps at the Performance Center. Once again, new details and information have come out regarding this because sources close to Cargill, according to Fightful Select, claim that she did not ask for the holidays off, contrary to the word in the locker room. In addition to going to the PC several times a week leading up to her return, she did additional training near her home. So there is more context, but there is still more to come, certainly, regarding this story. Now, speaking of Jade Cargill, a bit of an update when it comes to who attacked her. We now know who the person was. Naomi stuck the dagger in the heart of Bianca Belair by admitting she attacked Jade Cargill in 2024. Now, Belair came to the ring on the March 7th episode of WWE Friday Night Smackdown looking for answers. She called Naomi out to the ring and demanded to know whether or not she was the one that attacked Cargill before WWE Survivor Series 2024. Naomi tiptoed around the answers before a hysterical Bianca asked her for a yes or no answer. Finally, Naomi confessed to her actions. She said that Jade mooched off of Belair's success and stardom. She said that she felt abandoned but didn't say anything because she wanted to let them have their greatness. Still, she was tired of fighting for herself. Bianca, still hysterical, said she was done with Naomi. Both women were crying as Bianca left the ring. Naomi kept telling Bianca that she loved her, but as Bianca walked down the ramp, she called her an ungrateful bitch. That's when Jade Cargill arrived on the scene, entered the arena, and with Bianca's heartbroken and disgusted blessing, headed to the ring to attack Naomi again. After hitting Jaded, she left her in the middle of the ring. Bianca Belair now has to move on and focus challenging Io Sky for the Women's World Championship at WWE WrestleMania 41. Of course, that's set to take place in Las Vegas. Now, Randy Orton, he also had his say when it comes to John Cena's actions at Elimination Chamber. On last night's March 7th WWE Smackdown, Randy Orton commented on John Cena's heel turn at last weekend's PLE. Orton is one of Cena's most storied rivals, mainly with Cena being WWE's top babyface and Orton being the top heel. Smackdown started last night with Orton in the ring, and before he got matters more specific to him, he made a comment about Cena's turn. Orton said, quote, "John Cena has always been on top of this business. Now he's just a bottom for The Rock. I guess that gives a whole new meaning to rock bottom, doesn't it, John?" After the initial comment about Cena, Randy Orton then turned his attention to Kevin Owens. While it was somewhat overshadowed by the Cena heel turn, the Elimination Chamber also played host to Orton's return after being out since November. After Owens' victory in an unsanctioned match against Sami Zayn, Orton came out and RKO'd Owens before looking to punt him, but was prevented by doing so by officials and security. So last night, Orton teased that he's still looking to punt kick Owens, explaining that he enjoyed hearing the voices talking to him like they did 10-15 years ago, and that soon he's going to prove that Pat McAfee is only the second best punter in WWE. Now, as far as what's on tap next for the Viper, the first match back for Randy Orton after his return at Elimination Chamber has been confirmed. In a backstage segment, the new team of The Miz and Carmelo Hayes were in General Manager Nick Aldis' office, with Miz pitching the debut of Mellow Dope Miz TV, a talk show segment for next week. Instead, it will just be Miz TV, with WWE Champion Cody Rhodes as the special guest, as Hayes will be occupied elsewhere on the show. During the segment with Aldis, Randy Orton walked in, at which point Hayes said Randy Orton comes back hating after being on the couch for 4 months playing Fortnite. Orton responded, Fortnite's for kids. I was playing Elden Ring. But the main news is that Orton and Hayes will have a match next week. Now, LA Knight is the brand new WWE United States Champion. Third time seems to be the charm. After losing the title to Shinsuke Nakamura and coming up short in his first rematch, LA Knight has reclaimed the United States Championship and is now a 2-time WWE United States Championship title holder. Knight and Nakamura clashed in the main event on Friday's Smackdown for the title, and even as Nakamura was making his entrance, Knight was itching to get his hands on the then champion. As soon as the opening bell began, the megastar charged the champion like a bull while Nakamura attempted to fight back in the opening goings of the match. The gap between Nakamura and Knight grew wider and wider as the contest progressed. Knight's iconic superplex punctuated the beginning of the end for Nakamura. Knight followed up with the superplex with the top rope elbow to the champion, but when he attempted to secure the win with a follow-up BFT, however, Nakamura slid out to procure a steel chair. The referee quickly got involved and the match devolved into chaos as Nakamura sprayed a mouthful of red mist onto the official. With the referee down, Knight was able to land a BFT onto Nakamura's steel chair and secured the 3 count shortly after the backup referee ran in. Nakamura's third title reign has ended and Knight's second run with the United States Championship has begun. Nakamura won the United States Championship for a third time at Survivor Series last year when he defeated Knight in a clean upset just a few weeks after his WWE return. Now, we saw the, future WrestleMania opponents, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, clash because Priest says he and McIntyre are just getting started. Priest eliminated McIntyre from the men's Elimination Chamber match at the recent PLE. McIntyre responded by attacking Priest backstage on the March 7th episode of Smackdown. Later in the show, McIntyre defeated Jimmy Uso in a singles match. After the bell, McIntyre left the ring, but as he started making his way to the back, seemingly ready to attack Uso, Priest blindsided him. He took the fight to the former world champion and laid into him. Officials separated them and Priest yelled that McIntyre should have killed him. Priest then said he would kill McIntyre every time and it would be on sight. Priest broke free and attacked McIntyre again before officials eventually broke them up. Priest and McIntyre previously feuded in 2024 as Priest cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase on McIntyre and defeated him for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. They later faced each other at WWE Clash at the Castle, Scotland. Now, Braun Strowman, he is the monster among men, and he certainly made an impact last night. On the March 7th episode of Smackdown, Braun Strowman's feud with Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu continued when he faced Sikoa in a singles match that outmarked Sikoa's first singles match since his tribal combat match against Roman Reigns on the Raw on Netflix premiere episode earlier this year. Strowman was seemingly on the verge of a victory when Tama Tonga ran in and attacked him. Strowman fought Tonga off and Jacob Fatu came out. Fatu stared Strowman down and they squared off. The two powerhouses brawled throughout the arena. The fight spilled over near the equipment. Fatu went to slam Strowman, but he countered. Strowman then chokeslammed Fatu through 2 tables. Fatu, to his credit, got right back up, so it seems like it'll take more than a chokeslam through 2 tables to keep him down. Of course, Strowman previously faced Fatu at WWE Saturday Night's main event in January, and Fatu left him bloodied. Chelsea Green, she's still the Women's United States Champion. She retained her title over Michin in a street fight during SmackDown. Since becoming the inaugural Women's United States Champion at Saturday Night's main event in December, Green has exclusively fought with her opponent that night. She completed her first defense of the title in January before the rematch to that bout ended with Michin the victor by disqualification following interference. That set up a street fight in Philadelphia on Friday with Green entering with gear inspired by the hardcore legend Mick Foley and Michin donning an Eagles jersey. Soon enough, chairs and trash cans were introduced to the fight, and Green would take the advantage into the first commercial break with a rope tethered to her opponent. Having fought out of her predicament, Michin was looking to satisfy the crowd who had been chanting "We want tables" for much of the bout, but found herself blindsided by Piper Niven. B-Fab arrived to even the odds and take Niven out of the equation, seemingly opening things up for Michin to take the victory. After hitting a rolling attack into the corner with Green sandwiched between the bottom turnbuckle and trash can, Michin once again went for the table. Green hoisted Michin up to looking instead to put her through it, but Michin fought out and hit an eat defeat to place Green back onto it, finally following up with a senton through the table. She went for the winning pinfall, only to be a hooded figure attacking her to emerge and save Green from the pinfall and take Michin out. The hooded figure was revealed to be Alba Fire, alone following the departure of a championship-winning tag team partner, while Green made the cover to retain her title. Fire saluted the victorious champion, indicating she'll be a new addition of Green's secret Hervis going forward. We have new number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The men's tag team division on Smackdown is so messy that General Manager Nick Aldis had to bust out a whiteboard to try and make sense of it all. He took fans back 4 months ago when the Motor City Machine Guns shocked everyone by winning the titles in their third match. Street Profits were next in line for the titles, but they were attacked by DIY in the ring. The following week, the Street Profits were later seen laid out backstage, so DIY replaced them in a title match. They defeated the Guns to become champions when Johnny Gargano turned on his former friend and mentor Alex Shelley. Pretty Deadly informed the Profits that Los Garza attacked them. It was revealed there was actually DIY behind the attack and Pretty Deadly's lie. At the Royal Rumble, DIY defended their titles against the Guns in a 2 out of 3 falls match. The Street Profits cost the Guns the title, but also attacked DIY too. Now, next Friday, the Street Profits get their long-awaited shot at DIY, but last night, the Motor City Machine Guns faced Pretty Deadly and Los Garza to determine the number one contenders for the winner of next week's title match. The Motor City Machine Guns appear to be on their way to contendership as they set up for their Skull and Bones finisher on Elton Prince. However, Kit Wilson pushed Shelley off the top rope, allowing Prince to roll up Chris Sabin for the victory and become number one contenders. A bit of an update here when it comes to the Young Bucks in All Elite Wrestling. 2025 has already been an eventful year for All Elite Wrestling, both in and out of the ring. But 2 men have not been part of the festivities are the company's executive vice presidents, the Young Bucks. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson were last seen on the October 30, 2024 edition of AEW Dynamite, shredding documents and telling Christopher Daniels that they were planning on working from home, and no one seems to know when they will be coming back. However, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer revealed that the Young Bucks were backstage at the recent episode of Dynamite in Oceanside, California on February 26th. Plans are reportedly being worked on for their eventual return, but there is no word on when that will be, with Meltzer noting that the Jackson brothers have already missed a number of AEW shows in their home state of California, a place many assumed would be where the former AEW World Tag Team Champions would return. Meltzer also noted that given their position in the company, the Young Bucks aren't going to be in a situation that a number of stars end up in, where they are healthy enough to return to television but are not used for an unknown reason. With all that said, Matthew and Nicholas have remained semi-active over the past few months. They made their return to Japan at the Wrestle Dynasty event in January, where they won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships for a second time, and would hold the titles for 37 days before dropping the titles to Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi at New Japan's The New Beginning in Osaka event on February 11th, with the trips to Japan being something the Young Bucks claimed they desperately needed for their own mental health. Now let's go to Rey Fenix, a former AEW star seemingly on his way to WWE. Now an update has emerged on Rey Fenix and when he's planned to make his start in WWE following his recent AEW release. A number of months ago, brothers Penta and Fenix were expected to leave AEW and join WWE together as the Lucha Brothers tag team. However, while Penta did leave, Fenix had his contract extended due to injury time, meaning Penta debuted in WWE on his own, while Fenix was still under an AEW contract. A few days ago, Fenix's time with AEW officially came to an end and he departed the company. Despite Penta debuting as a single star in WWE and being a big hit, Fenix is still expected to make the move as well, and there's been an update on when that could happen. As reported by PW Insider, Fenix is most likely starting with WWE after the company's upcoming European tour concludes. The tour runs from the March 14th episode of Smackdown in Barcelona, Spain to the March 31st episode of Raw in London, England. So it's expected that he's going to be arriving after that. Fightful had recently reported that merch was already being designed for Fenix's arrival, and he was set for WWE Medical soon. And finally, when WWE is going back to Australia has been confirmed by the CCO Triple H. WWE is going down under in the fall. TKO recently announced that UFC and WWE would be returning to Perth. The announcement noted that in addition to UFC Fight Night in Perth in 2025, Perth would host 4 additional UFC and WWE events over the next 2 years. Speaking at the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque highlighted WWE's upcoming European tour and went on to note they would be returning to Perth in the fall. He said, quote, "Right now, we're going 3 weeks back-to-back of live events, non-televised, but also each week, Raw and SmackDown coming from international markets and markets that we wouldn't necessarily go to. Barcelona, Germany, places that we wouldn't necessarily be able to go to with TV. We have Perth coming up in the fall. We have France coming up, Clash in Paris. The ability for us to hit the markets that are most important for Netflix, but also most important for us, and to really service and become a global brand in a bigger way than we ever have before," Triple H said. Now, WWE has yet to officially announce any details about their return to Perth. Of course, if we get any more details, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.